Wow. 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 What a game, man. What a game. Game 4, Pistons and Knicks. And I want to talk about a lot from this game, but it just concluded. I wish I was able to stream this one because the first couple that I did were very exciting. But man, this might have taken the cake. Goes down to the last possession, down to the last second. And I know Knicks fans aren't going to like this, but the Pistons absolutely got robbed right here. This was the last play of the game. Pistons down by 1. Hardaway in the corner. How do you not call that a foul? He jumps up into contact. Josh Hart definitely made contact. Now, this isn't even showing what happened 2 seconds before because Tobias Harris was also going for the ball before this, and he was fouled on the arm. We'll talk about Tobias in a second. How do you not call this? JB Bickerstaff, I thought was going to have a heart attack on the floor. He ran out. I thought he was going right at the ref. They had to hold him back a little bit. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. But the New York Knicks beat the Detroit Pistons, and they are now up 3-1 going back to New York. And unfortunately, this series is over. Now, I want to commend both the Knicks and the Pistons. They both played an incredibly hard game. Very tough, very physical. I actually like the way that the referees are allowing them to play. Maybe there could be a little bit more restriction there. I mean, there's guys literally getting shoved and elbowed, kind of reminiscent of like an 80s or 90s series. But I do think they could blow the whistle a little bit more. But I do like overall just the vibe of this series. And really a lot of these first round series have gotten chippy and physical. Now, I don't think they should be out there full-blown fighting and, throwing fists, but I like the aggressive, chippy nature. It makes it very enticing, very intense, very fun, and I like that they're allowing it. But I give credit to the Detroit Pistons. They've played hard. They've stayed in there. They've stayed locked in for a young team with all these young players and a new head coach and new faces to go from 14 to 44 wins and to be playing like this in the first round. That is very special. And it's actually kind of reminiscent of how the Sixers played the Knicks last year. Just very aggressive, very just in like go mode, in fight or flight mode. But at the end of the day, the Knicks deserve a ton of credit as well. Jalen Brunson goes out in this game in the third quarter. He comes back. I don't know what they injected in his ankle or taped him up with, but he went off in the fourth quarter. I think he had like 15 or 17 or 13 points. Karl-Anthony Towns hit some unbelievable shots, one kind of on the baseline over the backboard. He hits a dribble step back 3 from deep, and he just, hit shot after shot after shot when it mattered. And credit to the Knicks for fighting through that physicality because the Pistons are really bringing it. And this is why I picked them in 7 at the beginning of the series because they're making it as hard as they can. Now, I want to talk about somebody specifically on the Pistons, right? Because honestly, I'm surprised that the Knicks won this game. I'm surprised that they've won a couple of the other games. The Pistons, in my opinion, outside of some of these crazy fourth quarter performances, are playing overall better than the Knicks. And the one guy, as you see right here on the top of the box score, Tobias Harris, has me scratching my head. Now, Tobias Harris in this game had a typical Tobias Harris moment where he's playing the best ball on the floor for the Pistons, and he's getting the crowd riled up, and he's showing all this energy and emotion, and then he goes for back-to-back fouls, which gives him 5 fouls in the third quarter, and he had to sit almost the entire rest of the game. And that really screwed up the Pistons. I can't believe I'm uttering these words, but losing Tobias Harris's presence late in this game really costed that team. It's not only what he was doing on the floor, 18 points, 8 rebounds, right? Doing the dirty work, but it was the attitude, the aggression, okay? Tobias Harris, after getting fouled, goes at Karl-Anthony Towns, and he is chirping at the guy face to face. I'm talking about Tobias initiating it. Before that, he's going around to the crowd. He's flailing his arms. He's hyping up the juice of the crowd. I can't believe what I'm seeing. And I don't like to be the revisionist guy, but everything with these 76ers leads us down one road, and that's to the revisionist history, right? If Tobias Harris showed half of this effort last year against these same New York Knicks, the 76ers are in the runway with that series. They probably beat the Knicks in 6 games, honestly. If they just got half of this Tobias, now I'm not saying this to just hate on Tobias. I'm kind of happy that he's found a better home because I know Philly, did not mesh well with him last year and all this stuff, but I'm also pissed off at the guy because this is all we ever wanted. You're telling me that not once in 5 years did I see Tobias Harris show up with this level of intensity and aggression just as an attitude thing. You're telling me I have never seen Tobias do this on the 76ers. Look at Tobias Harris chirping at Cat right here. He goes up and he is talking hella smack. Cat said, oh yeah. And now obviously Tobias had back-to-back fouls and Cat went off in the fourth quarter. Look at Schroeder in the back pointing at him. You're telling me that Tobias Harris couldn't do this one time in 5 years. This is all the Philly fans ever wanted. We wanted your energy. We wanted you to play 110%, 100 miles an hour all the time, even if you stunk, even if you had 0 points in an elimination game. This is all we wanted. We wanted this. Tobias was quiet. He sat in the corner all game. He never showed up vocally. And he just, this is not the same guy. This was not the same guy that played for the Sixers last year. Right in Cat's face. And you know what, man? Credit to the Detroit Pistons. They have brought Tobias in. Do I dare call Tobias a playoff riser? He averaged 13 points per game this season. He had 18 tonight in pretty much 3 quarters, and he is averaging around 16 to 17 in this series. The Detroit Pistons are another one of these young, juiced up, fun, energetic teams that is finding ways to win with athleticism, youth, speed up the floor, and just being absolute menaces on defense. There's a lot of good first-round series going on right now. But honestly, I think I'm having the most fun watching the Detroit Pistons with a bunch of young guys that are in their early 20s and a lot of new faces, and JB Bickerstaff just go to war every single game. They went into New York in game 1 and did this right off the rip. They're not playing like a team that's full of 23-year-olds. They are playing confident and hungry, and it is very unfortunate that they probably just got ripped a chance to make this a real series. But again, I do have to give credit as much as I don't want to. Jalen Brunson stole the show tonight. To go out, and who knows how much he was really hurt, but he had gotten up around the scorer's table and he couldn't even put weight on his ankle. And you're telling me that not only 10 minutes later, he comes back out on the floor and just can't seem to miss? Honestly, I mean, you might have to drug test Brunson after this game. What did they give him behind the scenes? What did they give Karl-Anthony Towns in the fourth quarter? Bridges hit a couple big shots. I don't think the Knicks can get past the second round. I think they're going to get absolutely demolished by Boston. But this Knicks-Pistons series has been very reminiscent of the old days, and the refs are letting them play. It's just a very old-school, hard-fought battle. And both of these teams deserve a lot of credit for the way they're playing, the way that the Pistons are initiating that aggression, and the way that the Knicks are responding to it. It's been a fun series to watch from the outside, and it sucks that we're probably not going to see 7 games. I would expect now that the Knicks take it in 5, but don't count out these bad boy Pistons, man. They're hungry. You can see it, and Tobias Harris, I wish that you had showed just 20% of what you are showing right now, or maybe they cloned you and left the original Tobias somewhere else, and this is a different version. I don't know. This is not the same Tobias that we saw in Philly, and if this guy showed up anytime over the last 5 years, the Sixers, just like everything else, will go down with one of the biggest what-ifs. They probably would have, breezed through the playoffs, and it's unfortunate that they can't go back in time now, right? They can't replay this. They can't start the game over, and crucial calls and crucial moments screwed up yet again. Give me your thoughts down below. Catch you guys on the next one. Peace.